America, it's time for the Ringside Wranglers Dirt Sheet with your host, Has-Been and Jack Jaw.
What's up, wrestling fans? I'm Jack Jaw. This is the Ringside Wrangler Dirt Sheet with Has-Been. What's up, Has-Been?
How's it going? It's good to be back.
Yes, welcome back. Back in the saddle again is Has-Been, and I'm Jack Jaw. We are the Ringside Wranglers, and this is the Dirt Sheet. We cover news from the WWE, AEW, Impact, all the majors. This week, like always, we've got some dirt for you. Going to the top of the dirt, we've got possible look into the future for none other than Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Getting old, got to start planning for that future without him. We got also who's setting up the feud against Roman Reigns. We all know about Jey Uso coming up at Hell in a Cell, but hey, word has it they're already prepping him for his next opponent. We've got, as we reported a week ago, she's coming back. We'll get to that one. We've got the Uso Penitentiary. Somebody's a big fan of Jey Uso, and somebody wants Jey Uso to win the title against Roman Reigns. I can't imagine who that would be. We've got somebody that got undrafted. Now what are they going to do? We've got weekly rumors. We've got how long is Moxley planning on staying in the AEW? We've got my name is Paul Heyman, and this is what's up with Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman speaking out this week of what he thinks up with Brock Lesnar. What's he going to do? He's a free agent. And we've got some news that was leaked by MIRO. We reported on it last week, but MIRO leaked it this week. Kind of crazy. And we've also got corona risk that we all face, but pro wrestlers are out there risking stuff week in and week out. We got a story what went down recently this past week. So let's go to the top of the dirt. This week we got Eric Bischoff showing up on a podcast talking about Vincent McMahon, people trying to figure out how much longer is he going to be around being a person, a character on TV. Looks like Bischoff is commenting that he thinks pretty much Vince McMahon is done with TV, but it's Stephanie that's bringing him back. What do you think about that one, Has-Been?
Well, first of all, I want to say hello to that Facebook user that just said, hello, everybody. Mr. Jack, I think that this opportunity right now with COVID will be who am I to speak, but you did ask. If I were in Mr. McMahon's shoes, I think this would be the best time to bow out right now with this COVID stuff. It'd be a good opportunity. He had a great run at it, made a ton of money, pretty much owns the wrestling industry, took it from his father and enhanced it more than his father could ever dream of. Mr. McMahon, whether you love him or you hate him, is responsible for the wrestling business how it is today. That's a bottom line. It's a fact. I believe that the company's in good hands with his daughter Stephanie, his son Shane, his son-in-law Triple H. There you go, right there. And then, of course, you've got. I had a real good conversation with a colleague of mine at the workplace where we talked about NXT, and we talked about a gentleman by the name of Lord
Steven Regal.
Lord Steven Regal, and he, in my opinion, you can't have a better person to take charge of NXT. If Triple H needs to spend more time on WWE to help out his wife and his brother-in-law Shane, William Regal is in great hands for NXT because this guy is old school. You can say what you want about Shawn Michaels, but if you read either one of Daniel Bryan's books, he says that Lord William Regal is the reason why Daniel Bryan is who he is today. It's the bottom line. And you've seen what kind of an athlete Daniel Bryan has done. The Yes Movement's back and running again, thank goodness. So just to make a long story short, I think it's a good time for Mr. McMahon to bow down and let his children and his son-in-law and William Regal take over. And let's see what happens. I think he left it in good hands for them. And I think those guys are competent, and that lady are competent enough to make it happen.
Well, he needs to get the memo to Stephanie that he's getting ready to tap out, because look how rough he's looking there. That was kind of a rough shot. I had to find that one. But Stephanie's the one that's pushing him to be on the TV. It seems like the last time he was on there, he was pitching the Thunderdome, and it was just like he was out there to say, welcome to the Thunderdome. It's like they teased him in a little angle, and the next thing he just goes away when the Fiend comes out there. That was kind of weak. But either way, Eric Bischoff, I think he's spot on in his comments saying, hey, look for Vincent McMahon limited times coming back on WWE TV.
Well, look, think about it. Undertaker, Steve Austin, The Rock, Shawn Michaels. When do you normally see these people?
When?
WrestleMania.
That's it.
Or some kind of big event like the SmackDown season premiere or the Raw brand season premiere. That's a perfect time for Mr. McMahon to show up. The Monday after WrestleMania, which is the biggest Raw ever. Those are great times for him, but he does not need to be on TV anymore. This man has paid his dues. The whole era, the whole Attitude Era with Steve Austin and The Rock and the corporate ministry and all that stuff, the Kiss My Ass Club, everything. He did all that. And that was his prime. And he did it. And God bless him. It's time for him. In the words of Nick Saban, the greatest football coach of all time. Yes, I did say it. It's time to move on.
Well, we'll see what happens. Next up, Roman Reigns. We all know he's got his cousin, Jey Uso, next weekend, at Hell in a Cell. Word has it that Aleister Black possibly maybe next in line to feud with Roman Reigns. I'm not really sure how they're going to swing this one because last time we left it, I believe Aleister Black was the heel role. Could be wrong, but I think he was. But either way, that would be an exciting angle. I like Aleister Black. Very athletic, great character. I think that would be pretty sweet angle.
And he and his wife, his real life wife, Zelina Vega. Now a lot of people know that they're married, and even the ones that do, they don't really acknowledge. They don't acknowledge it on TV. You never see them together. They're not like a husband wife kind of duo like Rusev MIRO was with Lana. But those two are they're like diamonds in the rough, so to speak. Because Aleister Black, I mean, this guy, you say what you want about him. I mean, he's all tied up and everything, but he's just you take all the physical aspect away from the way he looks and all. The dude's just on God amount of talent. Just the way that he works in the ring. His wife is very, very good. She deserved to get that title push against Asuka. I like folks like that. I mean, I like that the husband-wife duo that you really don't see a lot about that come out there and make things happen. And I can see them going a long way. And you notice they mentioned this also like with Jimmy Uso and Naomi. You don't want to split up the real life husbands and wives on the draft. So wherever Zelina goes, Aleister Black's going to go wherever.
I got you.
Wherever brain lock. Wherever the Jimmy goes, Naomi's going to go. You want to keep them together like that. Now they did split up Otis and Mandy Rose, but they're not real life.
Yeah,
that's a storyline thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm glad Mr. McMahon does that because I mean these people do really have lives, and it is kind of horrible. I mean, even when Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella were split, it's kind of tough on them. So, but I like Aleister Black. I mean, I like this feud he's got with. We tend to forget how badass Kevin Owens was when he was Kevin Steen. Remember that and NXT and all that stuff. Yeah, we tend to forget how badass of an athlete he was, and he still got that. Remember, we forgot whenever he was with Sami Zayn, they were that good team, and when he was with Chris Jericho for that while. I mean, Kevin Owens don't forget about Kevin Owens. Don't sleep on him. He's a badass dude. So this whole Aleister Black Kevin Owens feud, I can see it being really, really good.
All right, next bit of dirt we got some. This continues to stay in the news, so we're just going to put it out there again. Eva Marie, woo! She's going to be staying around. Looks like she's coming back. She was last seen on WWE in 2017. She said she's got some unfinished business. So I think the whole women's lineup, top to bottom, WWE could use the presence of none other than Eva Marie. There she is. She was on a Divas. She's got it going on. We'll see how that goes. Not the greatest technical wrestler, but to me, great, great character for the women's division. What you think?
It's no different than Lana. I mean, Lana's not exactly the physical athlete in the ring and things of that sort, but she brings something special. That's why she signed that lucrative multi-million-dollar contract, and her husband unfortunately didn't, and that's why he's in AEW now. But Lana coming in doing her thing, even Marie coming in doing their thing, they bring something else to the screen besides their wrestling athletic ability. And speaking of that, I'm really glad to see Ember Moon back. I thought I was really disappointed that maybe she wouldn't be able to come back again, but I noticed that she's made her way back to NXT. And I think it's only going to be for a short reign because she needs to get back in on the big screen with either Raw or SmackDown. I can see that coming up pretty soon, too.
Yep. So either way, like we said last week, a couple weeks ago, we had on there Eva Marie. Look for her to show up. She's definitely going to be there by the time, I'm guessing, Survivor Series or whatever. Teased right there. We don't know if she's going to end up on SmackDown or she'll end up on Raw, but she's going to end up on one of them. Certainly not NXT, but either way, I like the character. I like the fact it's coming back.
if they want her to wrestle again, Jack, she needs to go to NXT. And I no disrespect, but I mean, if they want her to wrestle again, I mean, look at Ember Moon. Ember Moon had to go back just to get the ring rust off because she had a career-threatening injury that they thought maybe would have been permanent. Thank God it's not. So she's going to go back to NXT just to get the ring rust off. I could see her coming back to Raw, SmackDown very quickly. Even Marie can say what you want about it. Obviously, drop dead gorgeous, got the sex appeal, would have been perfect in the Attitude Era with the TNA matches and things of that sort. But right now, if you want to go off of athletic ability, and she's nowhere near a Natalya Neidhart or a Charlotte Flair or a Becky Lynch or a the Boss or the SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley. Nowhere near that level. But if you want me to get that way, you're going to have to send her and Lana. They're going to have to go to NXT and get that skill set. If that's what they want to do. If they just want to be there for the sex appeal, they got that going on. That's a done deal.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. Stay tuned to see where she shows up. Next up, we've got a fan of Jey Uso, none other than Sami Zayn. He's talking recently about how he wants Jey Uso to take out Roman Reigns and win the title. I think that probably better for Sami, possibly go after Jey Uso, possibly, but who's to say there? I thought it was ironic that Sami Zayn was for anybody other than himself. But either way, that's going to be a pretty good match at Hell in a Cell. I thought most of the time when you have back-to-back pay-per-views with the same match, Jey Uso fighting his cousin, Roman Reigns, you think, okay, been there, done that, but hey, they're gonna stretch it out and do it in a second Hell in a Cell. That's going to be pretty intense. You looking forward to that match?
Somewhat. I'm believe it or not, I'm very glad that Sami Zayn won that championship or regained it, should I say, because I don't think he ever really lost it. I agree with him. I mean, just because he didn't want to wrestle because of COVID, there's no reason to pull the belt off of him. But I'm really glad that he's got that belt because Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, I was always a big fan of those two guys. I know they're really good friends in real life, and they had such a good duo together when they were anti-America and doing the Canadian thing, and it was awesome. It was kind of like the Hart brothers and the Hart family back in the day. This thing with Roman, I mean, obviously right now, Roman Reigns is the cash cow of SmackDown. No doubt about it. The cash cow of Raw right now is going to be The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and Sister Abigail, Alexa Bliss. That's going to be the cash cow for Raw. Cash cow for SmackDown is going to be Roman Reigns. You can put that in the bank. So I really think that this whole thing with Jey, I think he's pretty much going to be, it's going to be like a sacrificial lamb kind of thing. It's going to be like it's going to be a situation where you're going to end up destroying your family, and the whole thing is going to be the monster here. Where if I can destroy my family like this, then what the hell you think I'm going to do to you?
That's right.
I can see Jey being a sacrificial lamb, so to speak, and it's not going to be pretty, but it's just going to put Roman over super heel. And I know there's a lot of talk about he and his cousin or The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, hooking up at WrestleMania. Maybe it will happen, maybe it won't. But this is well overdue for Roman Reigns right now. Well overdue.
Yeah. Tell you what, that'll definitely up his heelness, as you want to say. Heelness. Roman Reigns, if he takes him out, boy, he's teasing him all. He told him this past Friday, he goes, that's the last chance he gets. Either way, look for that exciting match next Sunday at Hell in a Cell.
It's going to be like collateral damage in a war. It's exactly what it's going to be like. Jey, I know you're my cousin and I love you in real life, but on storyline, I'm going to beat the living hell out of you. And you're going to regret that you ever got in the ring with me, especially in a cage match. They always say the cage matches, particularly the Hell in a Cell, changes you forever. Just like when people when they cross paths with The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, it changes them forever. Well, these cell matches, particularly the Hell in a Cell matches and the War Games matches back in the NWA, WCW days, those things do put a hell of a toll on you physically and mentally.
Yep. All right, next up, we had a wrestler that inconspicuously was not drafted to either Raw or SmackDown, none other than your recent U.S. champion, Andrade.
They're the Street Profits, brother. They're the Street Profits.
There you go, Street Profits. But Andrade was not drafted at all. So speculation is, where is he going to end up? Are we going to hit it next up, Punk?
You really think they're going to let Andrade go when he is engaged real life to the daughter of the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, Charlotte? You really think they're going to let him go?
No, I doubt it. They're not letting him go, but they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do with him. Either way, though, I thought it was a little weird. But anytime something's weird, there's always something you don't understand. Do a little research. Word has it that Paul Heyman, when he was the booker / writer / whatever he would say he was a big fan of Andrade. And now that Heyman's out, Andrade may be out, and they may be searching for things for him to do. So that may be part of the reason that Andrade is left out in the reign, per se. But either way, like you just said, it ain't going to be for long. He's a great character, but he does need to improve on his English-speaking skills. I have no idea how he communicates with Charlotte. I mean, does Charlotte know Spanish now or something?
Well, if you kind of read some of the things, she did mention that Andrade is teaching her some Spanish, so to speak. But Angel Garza, his related to Hector. Everybody knows who Hector is. If you're a WCW fan, shame on you if you don't know who Hector Garza is.
Yep.
But those two guys were really good. But you talk about having the favor of Paul Heyman. If you follow the other dirt sheets, don't know why you do that, because you only should listen to this dirt sheet. But the other dirt sheets are saying that the only person that really didn't have favor with Paul Heyman would be one Alan Jones Styles, otherwise known as AJ Styles. He didn't exactly care for Paul Heyman. He feels that Paul Heyman is the reason why they broke up the club.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why those guys are now and those two guys are in Impact now, I believe. And AJ's still doing his thing. So, but AJ doesn't have any fine or kind words at all for Paul Heyman. But almost every other wrestler you talk to had a lot of praise for Mr. Heyman. So I still think Jackie's got a lot of pull, even though he's not on TV anymore. He's doing the managerial thing with Roman Reigns. I guess he still has an alliance somehow with Brock if Brock comes back. But I still think he's got some pull in it, man. I mean, he's been in this business too long.
Yep. Either way, it's crazy the fallout you have when a key writer of the show or whatever goes by the wayside. A lot of stuff happens over the next period of 6, 8, 9, 10 months later. Stuff falls out. Either way, I didn't even think about that other angle right there. But hey, Paul Heyman is no longer a writer. He's the advocate of the reigning and defending.
No, he's no longer a writer, but I promise you, somewhere underneath the table,
yeah,
he's getting some ideas across that they may not be attributed to him, but I promise you he's getting some ideas across, because when you got a guy that's pure genius, yes, I said it, pure genius, like Paul Heyman, you don't let a person like that go. You ride that dude until either he decides to quit or the good Lord takes him home. It's as simple as that.
Oh, yeah, they're going to ride him. They're going to ride him, no doubt. So next up,
Street Profits.
There we go. So let's go on to rumors of the week. We've got a little highlight on this one. Looks like there's got a rumor that Braun Strowman is going to be in a program with Lars Sullivan.
Yeah, speaking of that, I'm so glad that guy's back. I love his size. I love his intensity. He's got that. He almost looks like an old school Nikita Koloff or like a freaking an Ivan Putski or Iron Mike Sharp, big old school dude. Remember, I am the has-been who got to talk about old school stuff. Big old school dude. But every time I hear the word Lars, it's just, and I know Punk's gonna love this. It's just combination for me to go Lars Ulrich, because that's the only Lars I know of is Lars Ulrich, the drummer from Metallica. So every time I see Lars Sullivan on TV, I always go Lars Ulrich.
Yeah, he showed up at SmackDown this past week, and it was pretty intense. Either way, look for that angle to happen soon. We've also got news. This was possible rumor that Bray Wyatt was going to be going for the Universal title, but I guess now since he's moved over, because you remember when Bray Wyatt, right when Roman took the title from him, that 1 week reign, you had a situation where what do you call it, the Firehouse Funhouse or whatever, they had the Walrus show up.
Right.
That was pretty funny.
Right.
So
and that was a play on Paul Heyman.
Yep.
And don't be surprised if the Fiend Bray Wyatt wins the Raw Championship and Sister Abigail Alexa Bliss wins the Raw Women's Championship. Don't be surprised.
Yep.
It only makes sense because that connection that they have, that bond, is going to blow up. I told you, they are the cash cow of Raw, just like Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, is the cash cow for SmackDown, and that's where they're going to run at least until WrestleMania.
Yep. Additional rumor. We all know that the New Day got split up. So in the process of splitting up the New Day, you start digging to find out why they did that. It looks like Big E is getting ready to get a big push in a singles run. That match the other night where he fought, who was he?
It's already started. His push has already started when he was beating up Sheamus. It's already started.
Intense.
Yeah, that
on
push
the
already started.
card. That was messed up, and then the team goes on to win the tag titles.
But that really does suck though, because you think about it, the Horsemen back in the day when the Horsemen were at their prime, every single member of the Horsemen had a championship. Flair was normally the world champ. Tully and Orm were the tag champions, and then whoever the fourth man was like a U.S. champion or something like that. They all had gold. So there's no reason why you couldn't have Big E be like the U.S. champ or the Intercontinental champ and have Kofi and Woods be the tag champions. There's no reason why. I don't know why they broke them up. It's kind of silly.
I guess they got tired. They wanted to possibly see what would happen. At least you got the tag titles with the other two. So
right.
It's kind of cool. They broke them up. They did one more farewell match this past week on the SmackDown. I thought that was pretty good. Last rumor of the week, we've got a possibility that Drew McIntyre is going to feud or have a storyline with Tyson Fury. They already did that with none other than Braun Strowman once before, but Tyson Fury, he seems to like the wrestling scene. So who's to say that this doesn't happen? That's a rumor. Drew McIntyre, Tyson Fury, maybe that comes around. I cannot imagine that coming around if McIntyre still has the title.
If Randall Keith Orton, RKO, Randy Orton, does not win the championship at Hell in a Cell, I don't know if he's ever going to win it again. You can't keep giving the man chance after chance after chance, because it looks bad for everybody else who are just sitting back there waiting. I mean, if you're going to give Randy that many chances, he needs to at least win one of them, even if it's by a non-clean pinfall, holding the tight foot on the rope, classic Flair mode, whatever, man. But if he doesn't win this belt by Hell in a Cell and at least by some Survivor Series, man, I don't know if he's going to win it again. And that's a damn shame, because I feel he should win at least one more time.
Yep. There we are. We're on to the rumors of the week. That's what's going on now. Punk joined us again. I guess he had to go get a snack. Who knows what he was up to. Either way. So, yeah, you're right. If RKO doesn't win it this time, I mean, a lot of times they have Survivor Series with no titles being defended. So it's just like defend the brand. So, man, RKO, he doesn't win Hell in a Cell. I mean, this may be his last shot.
I hope not, man, because he's still in good shape.
There's your beast right there, Lars Sullivan, excuse me. Another one right there. Another angle they were pushing one time. Then when Lars Sullivan first came on, there was a chance that he was going to go against Brock Lesnar. I would have liked that, but I'm not sure if they were going to still have Lars as a heel or what. But that would have been pretty cool if they would have pulled that one. But either way, on to bigger and better things. It's going to be Lars against Braun, according to the rumors. Let's go up. Hit it with the next one, Punk. Let's just run through these there he is right there. There's your New Day guy. That is in New Day form right there. Check him out on the next one. There he is right there as a solo artist. He's gonna be a beast. I look for him to do big things as a singles dude. Remember when he was tagged up with who was before he was New Day, he was with who was he with? He was he was
with Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, Dolph Ziggler. He was the bodyguard of Ziggler. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But I'll tell you what, if you're going to break him up from the New Day, then you might as well go ahead and make it a clean break and bring back the guy you see on the screen right there. The guy with the heel, I would say, Big E Langston. Go ahead and say Big E Langston again, dude. Just go, no more Big E. Big E Langston, let's just do it. And make him go back to the heel mode like he was right there, because I don't like splitting up the New Day. I still am a big fan of the way the Horsemen were, where that just made their group so much stronger, because they all held championships and just showed that they dominated the scene back in the day. Yeah, I don't see why they did it. We can talk about that for days, but if you're going to go ahead and break them up, why not turn them heel? Why not, man? Turn them heel.
Yep, I'm with you. All right, so then hit the next picture, Punk. Who do we got here? There's your Drew McIntyre / Tyson Fury pick in the next one. Punk, are you listening? There he is right there. That would be pretty cool if that went down. Maybe. Who knows? Like I said, I can't imagine them doing that if Drew still has the title. So let's jump up to the next one. Piece number 7 of the dirt. We've got John Moxley talking this week or last week. Recently, he was talking about how long he plans on sticking around AEW. He says, I'm staying here until I retire. It looks like him and Tony Khan are tight. He likes the control that he has over his character. There he is right there. As AEW, he was named the #1 wrestler last year. I don't think he ever would have achieved that status with WWE.
Absolutely not. No way in hell he would have achieved that status in WWE, because just like every other former WWE superstar that went to AEW, he can be himself. He can be the person who he is, the independent person that slept in the cars and had the baloney blowouts and all this other stuff, had to sleep on the floor and then the cheap hotel rooms with the roaches and rats fighting. He can be that person again. And this is what he is. And I'm down with that, man. That's the way it should be.
Yep. But either way, I like him as the champ. I hope he holds on to it. I was a little skeptical his match this past week at the anniversary show. It wouldn't have shocked me if he would have lost. But hey, I was glad that he won it clean pinfall that he had on Lance Archer. But either way, I like Jon Moxley's character. There he is right there. Him and his wife, look for her to possibly show up soon. Never can tell.
I don't know, because she just showed back up on SmackDown on the pre-show on Fox. So I don't know. I don't know what happened with that.
That's a good catch right there. I didn't even see that. But either way,
that's an agreement not with WWE. It's my knowledge that was an agreement with Fox, like CM Punk did, Phil Brooks did. She signed that agreement with Fox, so she's doing the pre-show for SmackDown with Booker T. But Booker T's a WWE superstar, to my knowledge, and if I'm wrong, so correct me. But I was told that she's on an exclusive Fox agreement, like Phil Brooks, CM Punk was.
Yep. Either way, you got two brains out there. You got Jack Jaw and you got Has-Been out there catching everything that's going on. We're both doing our best to report what's happening. On to Paul Heyman. There we go. Street Profits. On to Paul Heyman. This week he was talking on Brock Lesnar. What do you think's going on with him? There he is right there. Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar's advocate of the one-time reigning and defending champion, but he's not the champ anymore. He's the champion of free agency. Everybody didn't know that everybody knew this, but Brock apparently has a farm possibly up north somewhere. Do you remember that right there when Paul Heyman teased the whole breakup with Lesnar? And I looked at this picture and I saw his eyes and I'm going, what did he spray in his eyes to make them that red? Like he had been crying all day for that. I mean, he was like
peeling some onions.
Straight up, man. That was messed up. And I love the swerve that they had. And he was never disconnected from Lesnar. But either way, Paul Heyman this week saying Lesnar will come back when he's good and ready. I think if they come to him with a good enough storyline and enough money, he's definitely going to come back. But there he is right there living on the farm. I got another picture. Check him out driving his tractor. Yeah. But either way, that's what Lesnar's up to. Paul Heyman says, hey, it's not going to surprise him if it takes a little while. But as soon as the angle is good enough, he's got a good enough storyline, he's definitely going to come back. I look for that to happen possibly soon, for sure, by WrestleMania. I just hope they don't put the belt on him. Just come back as a bad boy, just tearing things up. That would be pretty cool. I'd like for him to come back as a face and take out Roman Reigns and then cause a rift with keep Roman a heel, bring back him, with somebody else. Who knows who they could bring him back with. But either way, he's coming back. He's coming back soon. But, hey, he's probably enjoying that good life right now with his family and stuff on his farm. Next up, how about this one? MIRO, new to AEW on a podcast this week. We talked about none other than Benjamin Carter last week. He was a pseudo free agent. He had showed up on an AEW show, AEW Dark. There he is right there. Word had it last week that WWE wanted him, AEW wanted him. MIRO this week on a podcast, quote, Ben Carter has gone on to the dark side, so take it for what it is. MIRO, what he feels about WWE, so word has it now that Ben Carter has signed with WWE. The buzzkill on that one, he could have been on AEW Dynamite, AEW Dark, or whatever brand they're going to come up with next. But now word has it, this sucker is going to go NXT, what is it, Europe, whatever that one that's over there.
UK, I think NXT UK.
NXT, but there he is right there. I found that picture right there. That right there is Dark Side, Benjamin Carter. Who knows what they're going to call him? But dude, that dude is a stud athlete. It's going to be good. I just wish he was with AEW. Who knows? But MIRO running his mouth. I guess they don't like them. Hey, you know what? Remember when they said recently that WWE was going to stop all these wrestlers with their social media feeds and social media affiliates? Check out Cameo. Apparently, those guys did not get the memo. I mean, every major WWE star has a Cameo account. For as little as $25. You can get some of these old timers to send you personal messages. Some of these guys are ridiculous. Kevin Nash is on there for $100. Some people on there, I think Mick Foley's $100. But you've got some current people that are on there that I'm not really sure if they got the memo that they were not supposed to be doing that. Miro's got a Twitch account. That's where I found the story on MIRO leaking the stuff. And if you look at his Twitch account, that's where he's talking about Ben Carter. So either way, that's kind of funny that was said by Vince and WWE to cut back on the social media stuff. But who knows? Any take on that one?
No. Take it all, man.
You're not even following Benjamin Carter.
They're trying to make money, man. If they're trying to make money, so be it. I mean, they're like everybody else. You know, the house shows have been cut out. They're losing their guaranteed money they would get for house shows and ticket sales. They got to make the money up somehow, man.
Hey, who's the announcer? Charlie? What's her name? Charlie, whatever her name is, that announcer. She also works for ESPN. She's on Cameo. What's that?
Charlie Caruso?
That's it. She's $100. $100. She'll send you a message. You can log on there and see the messages or whatever. Have a little plug for Cameo and the wrestlers. But either way, I'm plugging it only because I think it's funny that the WWE says you can't do that anymore, and they're all still doing it. It's kind of like crazy. Don't do that, but we're going to do it anyways. But either way, I guess what are you going to do? Fire me? I'll go to AEW. Who knows? But either way, next up, we got AEW. All the wrestling stuff is worried about COVID, but some of these things are going on. You got this GCW organization recently had a show called The Collective, where you've got wrestlers from Impact, AEW, all these guys putting on a huge show where these guys are all wrestling. And there is literally like no concern at all for extra shows, extra exposure to COVID. But you've got rumors in the back that people are testing positive. Look at this match they had. You got John Moxley, main primetime player in AEW, wrestling on the side in this blood sport thing, taking on Chris Dickinson. This happened last week. But, hey, word had it that, people were testing positive. And then, look, he did that last weekend. Then he comes back and wrestles Lance Archer this past Wednesday night at the anniversary show. So I'm hoping that everybody stays clean. This COVID stuff, there's nothing to play around with people getting sick and the ramifications of passing it around and shutting down cards. And, who wants to get a pay-per-view, find out it's going to be John Moxley, and turns out John Moxley can't wrestle because he tested positive.
Well, the good thing about AEW, and again, I read this from their website, so I know it's got to be legit because it's from their own website. Their superstars come in like at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning on a TV day, and they start testing right there. And if they fail, they'll get them like a retest in case it, like what happened with Coach Saban, if it's like a false positive, whatever the case may be. And once they pass it a few times, then they'll get that colored wristband, and they're good to go. And then they'll get tested again right before the show starts, just in case something happens within that brief amount of time. So there's an infinite amount of testing going on in the AEW land on show day, be it a dark or the Wednesday Dynamite or actual pay-per-view, which is every so often. So kudos to Tony Khan and that group for doing their thing. They're making sure everybody's safe, and you can tell who's actually been tested and everybody gets tested. You can have proof of it because they all have their wristbands on. So it's not just the band to get into the arena. That's the band saying that they tested positive or negative rather for COVID, and they're allowed to compete.
Well, I learned something new. I didn't even know about the wristband. Either way, that about wraps it up this week for the dirt sheet from the Ringside Wranglers. Check out some of this stuff right here. There is, what do you call that dude right there, Jungle Boy? He's wrestling at that collective thing. Watch this next one where this dude, not only are they risking COVID, they're risking injury. Check this out. Wank.
Oh, my God.
What? Whoop. Imagine if that was your primetime player and he's out doing that on the side. Check out this next one where the guy on the chair, swank, didn't go as planned. I think if I'm Tony Khan and one of my main guys is doing this stuff on the side, I don't think I'm happy about it. Whoop. That was nuts.
They would have to sign some kind of a clause stating that if you get injured, that's on you.
Yeah, I guess. But man, it messes up their shows. It's not about the money at that point. It's about the fans. So either way, hopefully soon this whole coronavirus crap will be
It'd be
over
like a
with.
hold homeless kind of thing. They sign a hold homeless agreement thing where if they get hurt or whatever, AEW is not responsible for it.
Yeah, they're not responsible, but man, they don't want them off the TV. I mean, the money that they're paying them is little.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they go out there and get hurt, then they don't get paid.
Whoop.
It's a hold homeless thing. You know, if you choose to go there and do that, then you're risking your contract with us because you would have breached a contract with doing stuff. Because you can't. If you look at these people's contracts, you're not allowed to go wrestle for any Tom, Dick, and Harry out there in shows. I mean, there's only certain shows you got to get permission from Tony Khan or the legal AEW legal to do it. And if you do that without permission, then basically you could potentially be void of your contract or in violation of the contract, rather.
That's a Nia Jax move. We're gonna start calling those moves like that Nia Jax. He got Nia Jaxed. Nia.
Yeah, like
Jax.
You got Moss. Let's say getting Moss. Instead of getting Moss with the touchdown pass, you got Nia Jax.
Nia Jax. There we go. Either way, that about does it this week for the dirt sheet from the Ringside Wranglers. I'm Jack Jaw. That has been. Like and subscribe to our YouTube. You want us to cover anything for your organization, you're independent, reach out to us at ringsidewranglers@gmail.com. That's ringsidewranglers@gmail.com. I'm Jack Jaw. That's has been. This has been the Dirt Sheet. We are Ringside Wranglers. Check us out weekly with the weekly dirt from pro wrestling. Yeah!